What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Elite Largo, and today we are going to be looking at Madden, as the title says, fixing Madden, aka what are some things that EA or whatever other company decides to come out and actually challenge EA for the best football game for the consoles. On consoles like Xbox, PlayStation, all that stuff. And I'm going to be taking a look back at some of a few things that they did in the past, like some of the more arguable, better versions of Madden, like some of the late 2000 versions of Madden, early 10s, stuff like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and give some ideas that I had been thinking of over the past few weeks. Now, as we all know, Madden 21 has been a pretty big disappointment. We're already on the cusp of having another Madden out in August. No idea what that's going to feature, but a lot of people have said, and I'm going to use this as an intro, a lot of people have said, as far as like fixing Madden, fixing the franchise mode, everybody has said, nobody plays franchise, everybody plays online, nobody likes franchise, nobody cares about franchise. One thing that all these people have in common is that they're all MUT players, Ultimate Team players, and I think Madden Ultimate Team started out as a cool idea, but in my opinion, it's completely tainted the entire game, and it's almost become like an entire game separate from Madden. And it's like you have two types of players. You have players that just want to play MUT, and you got players that want to play franchise and play online, like in traditional senses. So, but what I'm going to talk about is obviously the franchise mode. And I don't want to hear this whole nobody cares about franchise, because it's obvious. It made headlines that every single person was complaining about the lack of improvements to franchise mode. It was a almost literal copy paste from 20 to 21 as far as how it operates, how it looks. Give or take some superstar and X Factor abilities, literally nothing had changed. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in, but before we do, of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button if this is your first time here. It'd be awesome if you hit subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Now, the number one thing I want to talk about is what I remember from when I first started playing Madden in the mid-2000s is player roles. Now, this is kind of coincides with the superstar abilities and X Factor and stuff like that. I actually kind of like some of them. I think some of the abilities are a little redundant and don't really do anything. It's rare that I really benefit from X Factor abilities or superstar abilities in game. The most noticeable ones are pass rushers and certain quarterbacks and running backs. Other than that, I mean, it's kind of rare that I can fully take advantage of this situation because of an X Factor. 90% of the time, it's my pass rusher. If the X Factor's on, it's like, boom, we're getting more sacks. That's about it. Or DB, tighter coverage, whatever. I'm perfectly fine with keeping those where they are. I think a player role can be just an extra trait that they earn based on their current circumstance on an individual level. Now, what I mean by that is this is something that Madden had tested out early on in its Xbox and PS2 days, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at on screen here. So you got, starting with the quarterbacks, it's like you got franchise quarterback. So this is obviously a quarterback that is, I believe, taken in the first round, right? It's considered the franchise quarterback. They'll lose the role when their overall drops to 85. But yeah, and they were, if the franchise drops to the quarterback in the first round. But the rating bonuses is that the O-line gets +2 awareness, pass blocking, the running backs, fullbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends get +2 catching and awareness. See, this is stuff that affects like the entire team overall. And this is something where I've always related this. I don't even really watch football that much anymore, but I still love playing the game because I look at it as like a massive role-playing game. You're building these crazy good characters and their characteristics, and what better way to make that more authentic? And heck, let's face it, certain players make players around them better. And that's what I'm getting at with these roles. So, then you have like the acquisitions and all this stuff. By the way, this website is gamefacts.gamespot.com. I literally just Googled player roles Madden 07, and it was like one of the first things. So you can look this up yourself. Then there's Captain Comeback. The player is considered Captain Comeback. This player earns this role if he makes 10 fourth quarter comebacks. This role increases his value 6%. This player expects to make at least one fourth quarter comeback per season. Rating bonuses. Quarterback is +3 awareness, +3 throw accuracy in the fourth quarter when losing, and the entire offense gets a +1 to awareness. So I think that's really awesome. Now, obviously, you have like the clutch superstar ability, which kind of takes care of this. But again, like a lot of these roles are going to be similar to some of the things that you see in Madden already, but then some of them I think are other ones that can be reincorporated and that don't necessarily have to be superstar abilities. They can just be like another slot that's just what their role is, or something that they gain over time. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. So team leader. So the player is considered a team leader. This role will be removed if his overall is 85. Basically, the rating bonus is young players on the team get +1 to awareness, which is amazing for the rookie and second year players, especially when you're rebuilding a team. Then there's game manager. I mean, we all know about that. This player is considered a game manager. This player loses, blah, 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 blah. All right, this role increases his value 4%. This player expects to play in at least 4 games per season. So quarterback, +1 to awareness and throw accuracy on third down. Awesome. I mean, that's really, really precise. And I like these types of attributes you can have. Now, running backs, you got the feature back. This player, obviously it's kind of similar to like franchise quarterback. The rating bonus, offensive line, +2 awareness and run block. And you can go back and read through. I don't want to make this video crazy long, and I don't want to spend too much time on this specific area right here. So you can go and you can look this up and read all the ins and outs. And it gets really in depth with a lot of this. Then there's the offensive playmaker. Basically, the rating bonus, unstated bonuses on third down and for the fourth quarter. So basically, heightened awareness, maybe like breaking tackles, elusiveness, stuff like that on third downs and in the fourth quarter. Then the receiver roles, there's the deep threat, which we already got in Madden, so I won't spend too much on this. But the rating bonuses, this is the thing that's different from what's currently in Madden right now. See, what's currently in Madden right now, everything that you have, give or take, like there are certain superstar abilities that affect other players, but it's like very, very specific. Like quarterback, there's certain ones you get that can increase the pass blocking for your O-line. Running back, I think the same is like for run blocking. So deep threat, but this is the thing. Rating bonuses, so the quarterback gets +1 throw power and accuracy. Wide receiver gets +1 catch awareness. And then the defender, it affects the defender. -1 speed and awareness. So really, really, really beneficial. And that's where the real role playing comes in. Like role play RPG games. And then go-to guy, this is kind of like max security or like security blanket or something like that. Basically, the rating bonus is quarterback +3 throw accuracy, wide receiver gets +2 awareness and catch if the pass is thrown to them. So that's all if the pass is thrown to them. Then there's possession, which is kind of like go-to guy. Possession, QB, throw accuracy 1, wide receiver +1 catch awareness, defender -1 awareness. Then the O-line, team mentor. So this is one thing that I've been wanting to be like a solidified thing that you could fully understand and know how to implement onto your team. I think certain veterans, if they're over a certain overall rating, should have this thing. Like if they're at a certain level of years and at a certain overall rating, should have a type of mentor ability that mentors other players at their position. And Madden kind of already has that, but it's very, like, I haven't been able to figure out exactly when and where these come in. Usually at the start of a franchise, you'll have a few players on certain teams that have like that are older, and they'll just all of a sudden pop up on your screen and say, hey, let me mentor this person. What do you want me to work on? So I would just like to see that expanded a little bit and have it a little bit more clear as to how it works and how you can take full advantage of that instead of just guessing. And then there's team mentor, I think, is the only one for O-line on this. D-line, pass rusher, you get the +1. Even +1 is secondary. Opposing O-line gets -1. Pass blocking. And then the D tackle, they have run stopper, which is, obviously really, really good. And you can see it helps. I mean, it impacts more than just their player. Linebackers, they have defensive playmaker, which is kind of like enforcer on Madden. And they already have defensive enforcer on here. And then they also have pass rusher. But you can see, like, everything affects, like, across the board, not just them. Cornerbacks, like shutdown, we already have that. Then defensive playmaker. Then safeties, you have playmaker, you got enforcer. Then kickers, you got clutch, which I think they already have. Now, I wish they would bring this back. Maybe they do. I've just never had a superstar punter, but coffin corner. And then the universal roles. Now, this is where things get really interesting. So you got team captain. So whatever team players are the team captain, you get the rating bonus of +1 to awareness. NFL icon. So this is the player is like basically an NFL icon. The entire NFL knows who this player is. Every player on his side of the ball gets +1 awareness. So like Tom Brady or Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, players like that. There's underachiever. So there's even negatives to this too. Like it can't all be positive. So basically the player is overall 82 or less years after he was a first round pick. So basically you have to work to get them out of that. Team distraction. Now this is another thing that's like in real life. If you want to make franchise as authentic as possible, you got to have these things. And I'll go ahead and spin off of this real quick. I was hoping that Madden in the future could have more realistic trading opportunities to where it's more fun and easier to manipulate trades and and make trades happen, whether it's on draft day or right at the draft or trade deadline. More teams are maybe more eager to trade players for picks or whatever, or vice versa. And have team players that are disgruntled and that are asking for a trade. And the longer they stay on the team, the more the team kind of takes a little bit of a dip in stats on whatever side of the ball that they're on. And then you can either make the player happy by specifically targeting them more, getting them the ball more, start winning some games, stuff like that. Madden kind of already had that with like frustrated receiver, frustrated running back or whatever. But that was just more annoying than anything else, because sometimes you're just on a roll with like another player, and then it's like you literally go one game where they don't catch 5 balls and score a touchdown, and they're already like complaining and all that stuff. And I don't know. I feel like they could be like demanding a trade, and then if you look at their contract, we're like, all right, well, this person is on their last year of their contract. I was trying to just wait it out with them anyway. If we get rid of this guy now, maybe more teams are interested since they know he wants a trade. And then let it happen to other CPU teams as well. Maybe have a ticker. They already have the stupid BS tweets that scroll along the bottom. How about actually have those tweets mean something? Like, alert, so-and-so is requesting a trade from the Bengals or the Giants. And then if it's a player you're interested in, hey, well, I didn't know that. Let me go over to the trade block. Let me see what they want. And have the CPU teams put out realistic expectations of what they expect in compensation for the player. Obviously not something crazy like a top 5 first round pick for a player that's like an 85 overall and it's like they're not even a star. But have it be realistic, so that way you have an idea of what you need to work with to actually get that player. So that's something I was kind of thinking when I saw team distraction. Kind of expand that a little bit, make it more real life, And then also have the flip side, like a team leader, like another one. The more and more the player succeeds and the team succeeds, it boosts the entire team, and you guys get on a roll. We've seen that happen in real life multiple times, where teams just go on a win streak because they're just feeling it, especially after the bye. All right, so that was team distraction. Fan favorite, this was a really cool one. Basically, they're at like a 90. They've been with the team for 5 seasons. Player gets +1 awareness and rise in team attendance. Now, this goes to the stadium aspect. Now, I love that part of Madden where you can upgrade the stadiums, you can upgrade the visuals, you can, the fans actually make a difference if they're actually all coming to the games and it's sold out. Maybe not as cheesy as that one NCAA game where you can, on Xbox, you could keep hitting the white button and get the crowd noise up so you can make someone false start if they have a low enough awareness. But, I mean, that was pretty cool. But I felt like certain stadiums in certain parts of the NFL should have something that boosts like the home team and maybe decreases the awareness or decreases the elusiveness or something like that, or agility of certain players. Like, in Seattle, you got the 12th man, maybe a higher chance of low awareness players false starting or dropping a pass or not hearing an audible. I think that would get a little too annoying though. Or like Lambeau Field, like in the November into December, January months where it's colder, it's snowier, the fans, especially if the team's winning, the fans are crazier, lower agility because of the field conditions, stuff like that. Make it more authentic. Same with like the Superdome in Louisiana or Soldier Field in Chicago. Just like all these different things to kind of make it more realistic. So yeah, team attendance, because obviously that mattered back in Madden. Injury prone, that's a tough one, but it is a realistic fact. I mean, look at Josh Doxson, the prime example over the last few years, or maybe the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I don't know how long he's been in the league. I don't even know if he still is on a team, but he was a number 1 pick by the Bears, and like in his first 3 years, I think he played like 2 games or something like that because he just could not get healthy. And then there's fumble prone, obviously, like remember Tiki Barber had that issue early on in his career. Then there's future star, which I think is really cool. Basically drafting a player in the first round and that player having an overall of at least 80. And then I think that's really cool. I don't know if they get any, there's no rating bonuses, but you should maybe like an experience bonus, like how they have the level, like how you can level up players in Madden, which I love. I love that about the current Madden is being able to pick where you want to spend the XP. So maybe future star, kind of like superstar, maybe they get like additional bonuses because players develops the star. I get practice squad players that are stars. I'm talking like maybe a late round future, like first round pick or an early round, second round pick that exceeds expectations, gets the future star designation, and then it gives them an additional bonus on their XP if they continue playing well. Then you got return specialist. I have been wanting this to return for so long because it's not frustrating. It's just tricky to figure out exactly who's going to be a decent return guy in the later rounds of the draft outside of players in the NFL you already know that are good. When you get further along in franchise and the league is like 70% computer generated players, you're like, okay, well, I need to find someone that can return. Of course, speed is one, acceleration is one, and you would think agility, but I don't know. Return specialist, I really like this because you get kick punt +3, awareness +2, blockers +2, opponents get -2 tackle. I mean, that's so cool, and I think that would be awesome. First round pick is one. I would say, I don't know. I don't think there's no rating bonuses, and I'm not really sure if you can. But that's pretty much it right there. So what I covered was basically bringing back player roles, expanding like the abilities of certain stars, making the environment that certain teams play in that are historic have like certain attributes that benefit the home team. Let's see what else. Definitely like the trade and off-field stuff being a little bit more realistic. I think those are all things that can go a long way into making franchise mode a lot better. Another one was going to be, and I've seen this, brings me back. I've been seeing like videos for NFL head coach. Shout out to Not the Expert for doing right now currently doing an NFL head coach series, which I'm enjoying so much because it's so much fun to watch. Um, Being able to pick which coach, like your actual position coaches, being able to pick like each coach and they bring something to the table that boosts certain areas that you need to improve on, or some weak areas that you need to be bolstered a little bit. I really appreciate that stuff. That stuff was so much fun. Same with the training, like the training staff that you had, either like injury prevention or stamina, stuff like that. And then the scouting, my God, the scouting is atrocious in Madden right now. Like, you literally have, you reached or good pick. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that simple. It's so basic. I feel like you should get more of a reward if you find a diamond in the later rounds, like a Tom Brady or, I don't know, it's Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott, in those mid to later rounds. Like, you should get something like expand the terminology, like you reached being the lowest, fair pick for like you could have gone somewhere else but it's okay, good pick like they have right now, hey, good pick, good job, and then maybe bring back excellent pick, and maybe give you like a bonus, like like a bonus for the player, like some bonus XP, or they get a certain rating bonus or something like that. And have the scouting be a little bit more in depth. Like, okay, sure, you got the combine stats and all that stuff, but maybe some additional bio. One thing I love about head coach is that they have player comparisons, which is really awesome. And maybe bring in like certain players. Like I was just complaining about kick returners and punt returners. Have certain like little stats, like little notes in there saying this kid was great. Was like one of the better return players in the SEC or wherever they went to school or something like that. Something that gives you a little bit more information than just like the bare bones that they give you in Madden. Like it's so annoying, and it's so boring. Like it's more of like a chore to scout players. Another thing is that I wish they would stop like the physical wide receiver. This is like a pet peeve of mine right now. Physical wide receivers that are like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Every single one of them are slow as hell. Like they cannot run. And I'm like, have we forgotten about players like Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson? Like players that flat out fly and are 6'4" or 6'5". I mean, come on. I know we don't expect them every year, and they're generational talents, but I played recently all the way to the end of franchise mode with one team because I was having that much fun with it. And I never came across one wide receiver that was 6'4" or taller that ran below a 4.5. And that was flat out annoying. So let's see. I think that's pretty much it. And now players, of course, like EA will probably come out and say, well, we only have so much space in the game to fit all this stuff. It's like, one, you fit all that stuff onto the first generation of next gen consoles. You fit all that stuff, then you can do it now. You want to know how you do it? I know the graphics are better, but you want to know how you do it? You cut out all the extra crap that no one is asking for. No one asked for NFL Street in Madden 21. Nobody asked for it. There's a reason why NFL Street only lasted 2 games. Nobody asked for that. That was dumb. And then of course, like the extra fields you can get, like there was like a SpongeBob field or something like that. That stuff, kick that crap out. Get rid of all of the nonsense and just be franchise, MUT to satisfy the MUT players, and superstar like mode where you play like an individual player or a created player, and that's it. Keep it at that, bare bones, and just do what used to work. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know if it made any sense or not. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all later.